This is my sniper in Star Wars The Old Republic, and I'm changing my spec because the one I've played for years, starting with the Republic mirror, the gunslinger, I made a slinger first, is going to get nerfed. It's going to get nerfed bad. So I've decided to switch to virulence on the sniper and dirty fighting on the gunslinger. Usually if I'm playing one of these DPS classes, I'm playing alone, because in a group, we always need a healer. And I like healing. I play all the healers, so typically I'm playing alone when I'm playing my sniper, my gunslinger. Sometimes not, but very frequently, yes. And I've always had a particular distaste. This is entirely my taste, entirely my desires. The one thing I've always disliked with it, especially a turret class like this, where you're supposed to stay still, and really your skills, they really require it. They have an activation or cast time, so you can't move. And what I don't like is having melee enemies right in my face, and here I am with this, got this sniper rifle, and I'm shooting someone who's actually closer to me than the end of the barrel of the rifle. Now, it's fine. It works. I see people do this all the time. I just saw it earlier today. I was doing an open world heroic. I watch a sniper just run into a big group of melee enemies and just start fighting them at, like I said, at 1-2 centimeter range. It's fine. It works. I just don't like it. Now, here's what I liked about the Saboteur and the Engineering Sniper. They're really an AoE spec. Their single target damage isn't so great, but I don't do that many big boss fights. I always find myself in these situations where I have a group where there's like a ranged enemy and a bunch of melee enemies. As soon as I attack, the melee enemies run right on me. And the situation I described occurs, and I don't like it. The Engineering Sniper, Saboteur Gunslinger, I learned how to arrange my AoE so that the melee enemies had to run through all of my AoE, and I could do a real good bit of damage to them. You can't do that with the Virulent Sniper. Its AoE is poor. Single target damage is really good, but its AoE isn't that great. Now, it does have AoE. In fact, it is a dot spread class, which is by definition, it's AoE. The idea with the virulent sniper, you want to get your corrosive dart on an enemy, and then you want to hit them with corrosive grenade. That'll spread the dot from corrosive dart to nearby enemies. I won't get all into that right now because this video isn't about doing a boss rotation. This video is about how the hell am I going to make this work so that I like it to defeat melee enemies when they charge me. Easiest way to do it, and I won't do it because I don't like it. I'm probably the stupid one, but it's my own taste. You send in a tank companion. Let all the enemies dogpile on your companion, and then you start burning them down. I just never liked that. I want to use the tools of my character to solve the problem. I'm calling it a problem. I mean, it's my own problem, my own taste. But I like to use my own abilities to handle things. I personally just don't like to send in a tank and use them as a sacrificial lamb, a meat shield, so I'm not doing it. So that's what this video is. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to use the tools that the Virulent Sniper has to keep melee enemies off of me. I'm going to be using probably a lot of flash grenade, flash bang, and any slow ability that I can. And what I'm really not going to like about it, I can already tell, is I'm going to miss interrupts. I'm going to have to, because I'm going to have to ignore, it's going to be single targets. I'll be switching to target. And undoubtedly, the gold elites I fight will have abilities I would prefer to interrupt, but I will miss them because I will be off target. And another thing is that your interrupt will also sort of destroy your rotation if you're doing an ability with a cast time or a channel time. It'll interrupt that, but some things I will always insist upon interrupting, and I'm a big guy about interrupting things. I'm a big fan of interrupting what's important, but I can tell that's going to irritate me somewhat. I know I'm going to have to sort of forego interrupting some things I would normally interrupt. So I guess now I will go and begin this heroic mission where I know that there are groups of mobs, groups of enemies that will have a very irritating composition for me with the melee enemies. So off I go. I think I want to hit the Narshada. Okay, so I killed my first gold elite here. Now here comes the beginning of my test. I'm going to use flashbang on one of the melee enemies, and then start killing the other melee enemy, and I'm going to have to ignore the ranged enemy to the last. The only thing that makes this work is that there is a passive in the skill tree that will not allow your dots to harm an enemy that's mezzed. That's what this flash grenade, flashbang is. It's a 8-second mez, soft CC. So that worked okay. I'm going to try this again. This is really a very weird way, in my experience, to play sniper, since I'm usually in cover or cover in place, and I'm not doing that here because you can't kite that way. In PvE, another sort of irritation with the sniper and gunslinger is that the cover mechanic doesn't really work very well. Enemies routinely just jump to me, knock me out of cover, and then I can't even use my knockback because I'm no longer in cover. The knockback for slinger and sniper must be used while you're in cover or crouched. So now let me kite this Jedi. Now we're down to the gold. And it's working okay. It feels kind of sloppy to me, but I'm just used to how smooth I had things with engineering and how smoothly I got the saboteur to work for me. Although it was very, very energy hungry, I did manage to, to control it. It was a kind of challenging spec, and it was fun to master. Now I'm trying to master this. So, flashbang, now I start switching to this other melee enemy who kill as fast as I can. Now switch back to the other melee enemy, start cutting him down, kiting him. This is why I'm not standing cover, because I got to keep moving away from him. And I'm missing more interrupts, a lot of interrupts, sometimes just ignoring them now, because I have to target switch so much. I can't focus on this gold guy for, most of the fight, a big part of the fight. I have to ignore him until I kill the melee ads. And like I said before, I could just take the easy route if I wanted to and send in my companion to group up all the melee and then start killing them. But I just don't like that. I like using the tools in my class to get things to work. Now, these guys are all ranged, so it's a little different. I'm going to try to stick with this same method of single target killing. Although there is some AoE, in that it is a dot spread class. You get your corrosive dart on an enemy, hit him with corrosive grenade, and the corrosive grenade will then spread the poison from the dart to any enemies that are within its range, in its AoE range. So this is really my first attempt. It's going okay. We'll perfect this as I do this in the coming days. So I'm not entirely displeased with this. It's more disappointment that the spec that I really, really enjoy is going to be ruined. So let's kill this one melee. Now we'll go after him. The dots didn't spread to him. He was too far away. Keep in mind, this isn't some kind of boss fight rotation. Everything I'm doing here is determined by the fact that I want to kill these melee guys before they reach me. So I'm sacrificing like a really good rotation in order to use abilities that slow down these melee enemies. I mean, I gotta say, it's working fine. I don't really like how it works, I guess. It felt a lot cleaner and smoother and slicker with engineering. But this is doing the job. And I'm not having melee enemies right in my face and shooting them from 1 centimeter, which is ultimately my goal here. Yeah, there's going to be line of sight problems here. I'm going to have to jump up on that thing to my left there, I think. Yeah. I know this is going to be can't see target, right? I'm just switching through targets here. Yeah, there it is. Got a good target switching for this. Got to quickly switch to the correct target. All right, we'll do it this way. Got a feeling this is going to be a little messy, at least by my standards. All right, he's flashbang. Now let's kill this silver.
I might try ducking next time.
And the other silver, so now we're going to kite him, her, whatever. One kind of cool thing with this is that you do have some slows in your abilities, and as you're kiting, your dots are doing damage too. Because when I'm kiting, if I'm strafing or just kiting away, I can't use abilities that have an activation time or cast time, so it limits my DPS a whole lot. But at least the dots are always ticking on these enemies. So I've killed more than I need, but I'm still going to kill more for practice. I just want to keep doing this and get more comfortable with it. Okay, switch to the other silver. He's down. Now I'll get the other silver. I have to kite her. And now we'll get the gold. So this is working fine, really. At least to the extent that I'm not having to shoot anyone in the face at 1 centimeter range. All right, now we got a champion Jedi who's melee. So I'll use cover for this. Cover in place is really not going to crouch in place. Cover in place. There's really no cover that's going to be available for this, in my experience from doing this in the past. She is melee, so probably going to eventually come up with a better way to do this. This is my first time doing it. I'm sure if you're doing this a couple times, I'll come up with a slightly better method.
I think I knocked him cross-eyed.
She has enough health that I know she'll reach me, and I'll have to knock her back, and then after that I'm probably going to have to kite after this knockback. So knockback, her slows, but she's almost dead now. I'm going to kite, do a little damage, let my dots tick, and there she goes. So it's really, it's not bad. Now, the class is not bad in any sense. I'm not trying to imply that at all. It's actually really good single target damage. But I have my own absurd desires how I play this class. Like I said, it would be so much easier if I just sent in my tank companion, but I just don't like that. And wear them down. That's it. So, all in all, not too bad.